Yo guys, what's going on? It's Acez here today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why I personally think PVE is the future of Escape from Tarkov. Just full transparency, there will not be gameplay or anything in the background. Just sit back, relax, and do whatever you're doing. Sort your stash, do something productive while you listen to what I have to say here today. One final thing, we have a little announcement at the end of this video. So for all my loyal subscribers, make sure you're sticking around until the very end and don't miss that announcement. So, PvE being the future of Escape from Tarkov, that was the original idea I wanted this video to be. And I've been planning this video for a while, but I have since somewhat revised it. I want it to be PvE being the future plus Arena, because that will allow every single PvP player to still get that fix. If Arena is fully incorporated into PvE with the ability to transfer loot from Arena to PvE, but not vice versa, nothing from PvE can go to Arena, but anything you want from Arena can go to PvE, whether that's money, whether that's finally having a use case for GP in PvE again, or it's just working on ref, whatever it is, all that stuff is going to be a one-way trip. But if you want to play PvP, Arena is going to be the way to go. If it's linked, all PvE players can play their raids at their own pace whenever they want, but if they want to hop into the action with PvP, they hop right on Arena, do an 8 to 10 minute game, have some quick rounds. If there's a cheater in one of those lobbies, who cares? You can just queue up to the next one. It has zero impact on you. It's not like a raid where you're potentially losing millions of rubles in your kit, but more importantly, you're losing your time. Your real life human being time. Imagine being in a raid for 40 minutes to die to a cheater towards the end of that raid. It would completely ruin your day and you'd probably get off the game. That happens to a lot of people. That's not something you'd have to worry about if your main PvP source is Arena. The most you're losing is 8 minutes, 10 minutes, not 45. That's why I think we have to incorporate Arena into this video a little bit, and that's why I started with it, because the rest of it is just going to be PvE. So the number one reason PvE is the future of Escape from Tarkov is you completely eliminate cheater paranoia. That is the term I have always used for it. I don't know if other people call it that. I don't know what other people call it in general. But PvE will always be the best experience when it comes to having that thought process of, in PvP raids, you load up the raid and you're like, I wonder if I'm going to die to a cheater this raid. Wonder how many cheaters are in my raid. Wonder if the loot's going to be vacuumed up when I opened this locked room. I wonder if somebody's going to fly hack or speed hack across my screen and one-tap me. All these thoughts you might have loading into a raid, they don't exist in PvE. You know, and when you die in PvP, however you die, because Tarkov's Tarkov, you never know what could happen. You also don't ask, was that guy sus? Did I just die in a sus way? Is that guy cheating that just killed me? Who shot me in the head twice, but he barely saw me, but he actually cambered me because the left and right shoulder peaks are weirder in Escape from Tarkov? There's a million different things that can happen in PvP, and that is what makes it unique sometimes and have really amazing gunfights. I'm not taking away from the fact you have a different level of adrenaline in PvP. It's different, for sure. But you don't have any of that cheater paranoia. And that right there, in my opinion, is enough for probably 50% of the PvE players that are currently playing that mode to stay on PvE. Maybe even more. There's a ton of other reasons why PvE is great, but that is the number one. You have zero risk for cheaters impacting your raid gameplay. And I word it like that specifically because there are issues with the flea market right now that I've already kind of talked about, so we won't get into it. But when it comes to your in-raid experience, cheaters aren't involved. The next thing, for a lot of more casual players, people that don't play the game as much, there is no gear fear at all. If you are insuring your gear, you get it back 100% of the time for solo players. Now, if you're playing in groups, that stuff can be looted from scavs, maybe even PMCs now with the updated AI. So if you're playing in groups, duos, trios, more than that, you can be looted if you die. But if you're a solo player in a local raid, or even on Streets of Tarkov that's not local, the moment you die in a solo raid, that raid ends, meaning your gear is safe. The only way you won't get gear back in insurance is if you go MIA with the gear on your PMC. So what you have to do, if you're about to run out of time in your raid, you drop all your gear. That way, you will still get it back in insurance. You completely eliminate gear fear at all levels. If you're a comfortable player with class 4, class 5, but you don't really want to run your class 6 plates, you have no incentive not to. You can just insure them and you'll get them back. And the only way you're going to lose those level 6 plates is by just repairing them to infinity until they just don't make sense to use anymore in like the 20 or 30 durability range. So you have no gear fear. That's another huge positive for players that want to just enjoy Tarkov. Those last two reasons are probably 75 to 80% of the player base right there why we're playing PvE. But the next reason for me personally is one I've heard a lot about Escape from Tarkov over the years. You know, ever since 2019, that Escape from Tarkov is a fairly expensive game. And when you're talking about the max editions, we had EOD at one point, which was 130, and I think it went up to, what, 140, 150 at the price increase. And then we had Unheard Edition for the 250. And, you know, you have all this DLC you can purchase as well, $42 for additional stash space. You have all the cosmetics. You have the co-op mode if you don't have Unheard. There's a ton of DLCs. You know, it's fairly expensive. But when you're talking just the base standard version of the game, it's like, what, $45 now, I think, $50, something like that. On top of that, if you want PvE, it's only $20. I had no clue that BSG was going to undershoot the price they could have gotten for PvE. I think they could have released PvE at like $40 as a standalone DLC. They put it at $20. I genuinely couldn't believe it. I talked about this multiple times, that means after all the fees that you're paying, the payment processor, after your standard account, after PvE, you're in at the same exact price as normal AAA titles out right now. $70 is pretty much the standard price across the board when it comes to AAA titles, AAA studios. So you can get PvE with a standard account for about $70. That's a deal and a half. I've sunk so many hours into Escape from Tarkov. If you want to know if a game's worth it, take what you get paid hourly. Ask yourself, let's say you get paid minimum wage. Am I going to play Escape from Tarkov for 10 hours? Probably. The game's instantly worth it. That's the best way to look at it when you are, you know, gaming on a budget, if you want to call it that. So let's talk about the core aspects of PvE and Tarkov in general. Listen, it's not perfect, but if BSG continues to give PvE support, it can be close to perfect. AI sometimes, yeah, they are gods. They are hitting one-taps across the map. It happens. It's still Tarkov. Yes, we couldn't get to Lightkeeper for like a month and a half, 2 months straight of not being able to get to Lightkeeper after the localization happened. Yeah, it's frustrating. But overall, I gotta be honest, it's less stressful than dying 42 times trying to collect a fucking pocket watch on customs that Stankrat has 3 tripwires on and a GL waiting. Listen, I love Stankrat. I give him my Prime every month, and you should too. Tell him Acez sent you. Use your Twitch Prime, chat. But I can guarantee you're probably going to get that pocket watch in your first PvE raid, and it's going to be a lot less stressful. You're still going to have to probably kill 30, 40 scavs on that part of the map, but hey, at least you don't have PMCs camping the objectives, or camping the extracts, or camping in bushes. And I got like one main final reason why PvE should just genuinely get support from BSG and why they need to take it serious is they're literally making a fucking single player game as their next project. Russia 2028 is going to be a story-driven single player game if my information is correct, and it's been a while since I've researched Russia 2028, but assuming that information is still accurate and still valid, Russia 2028 should be their next project and should be a single-player, story-driven, campaign-style game. If you don't think you're going to convert massive percentage from PvE, which a large majority of the player base, 70% last time Nikita said anything about it, is solo players. If you don't think you're going to convert a huge chunk of those players to your next project that is a single-player game, you're just not thinking. And you know what else that means? When you convert those sales, that's like 4 or 5 more Lambos for Nikita. The bank account's going to go burr. So in my opinion, overall, PvE's the future, man. Like it or not. I genuinely respect all the streamers and players that have stuck to PvP Tarkov. I genuinely respect you because I just don't want to deal with that. It's just genuinely not fun for me to load raids and wonder if I'm going to die to a cheater because of how bad it's gotten. it takes some guts to log on to PvP every day and do your thing and just fully accept that you're going to die a few sus times in an entire 8-hour gaming sesh, if that's how long you're playing. Like, if you're playing a full day of Tarkov, you know you're going to die a couple times of cheaters. And I respect the hell out of you for sticking to that and knowing that is just the price that it's going to cost to play Tarkov in a day. But I got to say, I am 100% full PvE until the game dies. Unless Nikita and BSG are going to implement the greatest anti-cheat of all time, I'm not counting on it. I just got to be honest, PvE is for me. And it seems to be, with the recent spike in the channel over the last, like, 3 months now, we have gotten so much support here, and a lot of you guys are Team PvE as well. But let me know what you think down in the comments, man. What do you like about PvE versus PvP? I've definitely been vocal about, you know, PvE not getting all the same features as PvP. I definitely want to see us get ref. I want to see us get map to map. Maybe even marathon. That would be super sick. Not giving us content feels like you're leaving us behind. So let me know what you think about it down in the comments. But real quick, guys, I do have an announcement, especially for all the subs that watch all the videos here on the channel, man. First off, it wouldn't be possible without all your guys' support, mainly over the last 3 months. Yes, my original community that got us up to 16,300 subs. I love you guys to death. But the PvE community, we had such a growth spurt here on the channel, and I want to thank you guys so much. We are finally going to have our first hashtag sellout Acez video coming very soon. It's going to be the channel's first ever paid sponsorship video. We've had some over on the Call of Duty Acez gaming channel, but we've never had an official paid sponsor here on the Tarkov channel. We're going to have our first one coming up very soon, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could show some love on that video when it does drop. I've rejected quite a lot of products and offers for this channel because I do care about you guys, and I can't tell you too many details. It's not Tarkov stuff, but it's kind of similar, and it is something that I have kind of, you know, talked down upon, as I think Tarkov is king. However, I gave it a shot, was impressed, and I'm going to bring a video for you, and they are sponsoring it, so I really do appreciate the opportunity, and I got to say I was impressed. I was pleasantly surprised, so make sure you guys are sticking around on the channel. That should be out within the next 7 days according to plans. So appreciate you guys so much. Hashtag sellout Acez is coming. It's only a 1 video thing. After that, we'll be back to normal unless they want to do more work. But we'll just have to see. We never know what the future holds for us. But I do know my future has a lot of PvE in it. Let me know about you in the comments down below. Leave a like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. I'm out.